You can use symbolism in any meditation because things that are symbolic have a meaning attached to them. That's why it is a symbol, because it is not exactly the object or the image or the line or the word. It's the meaning that's wrapped around the object, the line, the word, whatever it is. So we call them symbols as a way of conveying that meaning. Take, for example, a tree, which is one of the most common symbols that mean growth, prosperity, happiness, increase. These are all words that we can assign to the image of a tree, right? Take, for example, a skull. Skull meaning death, warning. It means fear. Now, it's not the actual thing that has the meaning. It is the meaning that's wrapped around the thing. It's like that person that you knew in high school that you never liked, you really hated them, and they had a specific name, right? And every time you thought about that name, it reminded you of that person. So that feeling you had became synonymous with this name, and now you'll never date anybody who has the same name as that person, right? You would never name your child that person because of what that name means to you. So it's the meaning that you can see in the symbolism. So for you, for example, in your meditation, if you were to use things that symbolize something to you, you could feel what it meant. I'll give you an example. So for example, if you imagine that an avalanche rolled over you, that could be something that you use as a symbol to visualize abundance rolling over you. If you visualize the ocean symbolizes vastness. And you can imagine that your prosperity is as wide as the ocean or as full as the air all over the earth. I'm making a meditation right now, and it's going to be called God's Blanket. And this blanket symbolizes warmth, and the warmth symbolizes love. And because it's God, it symbolizes unlimited power, unlimited energy. And I'm going to use these three different symbols as a way to get your subconscious mind to feel loved so deeply that it heals you from within into without. It's amazing how using symbolism that's wrapped around meaning can impress your subconscious mind. And you'll be surprised by how powerful this is. For example, because you know what a lemon is and what a lemon means, and you have an experience with a lemon, if you were to imagine cutting a lemon in half right now, and then squeezing the juice into your mouth, as you visualize that, your mouth will begin to salivate in response to the acid that's in the lemon. Now, although you're not actually doing that and physically drinking lemon juice, your body is reacting to this imaginal state based off of this imaginal symbol, if you will, that you're using that symbolizes lemon. And because you know a lemon means it's acidic, or you had experience drinking lemons like that, it impresses your mind in that way where it thinks it's real. So this is really the tip of the iceberg about this whole symbolism thing. I'm actually working on a book on a larger scale that really goes into all the aspects of meaning, because especially if you've been coming to my classes, I'm really only talking about the tip of the iceberg in terms of this meaning phenomena when it comes to manifesting. But anyway, if you were to use more symbols in your imagination, things that have a specific meaning to you, you can use that to impress your mind. One of the things I like to do, it always jolts me. I imagine that a very strong chain is attached to my chest, and it is attached to something else that is infinitely further in front of me in the future, and it's attached to my destiny. So I'm attached to my destiny through this chain that's inside my chest. And this chain is getting pulled into my chest. And that symbolizes the future destiny getting pulled closer to me. And then I imagine that this chain is accelerating in speed and getting pulled even faster into my chest, which means my destiny is getting pulled even faster to me. And then I imagine that all of it gets pulled in at once, and then this wave of my destiny washes over me, and I feel that I am now living in my destiny. That is a creative, imaginative way to use symbolism in your meditation. The symbols should imply exactly what you want it to imply. Notice how I use the chain. The chain symbolizes I am attached to whatever is at the end of the chain, which is my destiny, which means it can't be broken. And when I imagine this chain, it's a really big, heavy steel chain, like something you would imagine you use for bridges and stuff like that, right? And then when I put my hands on it, it's so tough. And that symbolizes this chain can't be broken. And the fact that it's attached to my destiny and is getting pulled into me, that symbolizes that my destiny is getting closer to me. The fact that the chain is accelerating symbolizes that my destiny is coming even closer to me at an even faster rate. And the fact that my destiny washes over me symbolizes that I am now living in my destiny. Imagine if you did that with your own symbolism in meditation. Now, eventually, I'm going to write something, maybe like an ebook or a book or something, where I can give different examples about using symbolism. Usually, I catch them when I'm coaching somebody. Like, for example, a good friend of mine, Amna, she, in her experience of life, has felt like she has grown up in a cage, this cage around her. And although she didn't use those words, I was the one who gave her like, hey, it sounds like you're in a cage, right? You're in a bird cage. And, you desperately want to fly out of this bird cage, but every now and then you come back to the bird cage. So this is like encapsulating her life inside of an analogy, which is so powerful once you're able to put it in that concept, because now you can play with that, right? Now we can say, well, let's imagine that the bird cage is, you finally have the key and you've unlocked it, right? And you're able to go and move away and fly away as much as you want. Or maybe you have a specific relationship with the bird cage. So let's take the bird cage, let's take the metal around it and then reform it into something else, something more beautiful. What does the flying symbolizes? Well, the flying to Amna, for example, symbolizes she's giving unconditionally to people. And because we're friends, she's always talking about whenever she doesn't give to people, she feels like just terrible, because giving in her life is flying as that quote unquote symbolic bird. You see how powerful this is? I have another example of somebody very close to me, and her name is Kim. And we were having a conversation, and I realized, okay, you just climbed out of this abyss. You just climbed, actually, no, she said those words, and then I caught it, and I was like, that's it. So she said the words like, I just climbed out of this big hole, like even hole is not even a good enough word, like this abyss. I just finally climbed to the side of it, and now I'm on the edge of it, and I'm just capturing my breath. So we can use that concept of that situation and then reimagine something very beautiful. Like, for example, like one of the things I had mentioned to her, I was like, what if you imagine God's love pouring out and then filling up that entire abyss? How healing is that? Because that abyss means so much. All the challenges, all the struggles, all the problem, all the trauma that was related to that abyss has now been healed by God's love. You see, you literally visualize it pouring out, pouring into that abyss, and then overflowing as you're on the side of it. And you feel that overflowing, and then it continues to rise, as if you're on the side of a pool and the water just flushes over you. It's so amazing. It's so amazing when you can really capture this. So I implore you to try that. I implore you to use your creativity and your imagination and see what type of symbolism you can use in your meditation that really conveys a specific meaning to the situation that you want or the situation that you have. Leave a comment down below, subscribe and like. My name is Evan Yearwood, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.